Welcome to the Upshot, Multi-World Disc Golf's podcast about the latest in the disc golf world. It's Thursday, August 7th. Josh Mansfield, Charlie Eisenhood, and a special guest to kick us off right away in the show. Brian Earhart joins us from China, where he's getting set to commentate at the World Games. Brian, what's up, man?
Oh, I'm laughing that you even said that. It's crazy that I'm here in China. I'm honored that I'm here in China. It's been chaotic in a lot of ways, you know, getting off of the World Championships, that emotional hangover there, and then bopping on a plane and flying, 15 hours or something to get over here, and 2 days to prep, and here we go. Yeah, it's been great.
Here we go. I'm right behind you, Brian. I leave on Saturday. I think I might be able to have like breakfast or lunch with you one day before you leave. Just to address the elephant in the room for those watching on YouTube, I am wearing sunglasses right now. I just want to make sure everybody knows that there's no jerk moves allowed around here, okay? Just want to be clear about that. This is jet lag preparation stuff. I know I look like a complete idiot. Someone's going to clip. Last time I did this, somebody clipped it and put it on YouTube or on Reddit and was like, look at this asshole. And everyone was like, yeah, what an asshole. And I was like, sorry. So I have to avoid light for one more hour. So, we're going to just roll with it. And I hope you guys understand. So Brian, you have been maybe the only person who has been away in Europe for longer than Josh was, and then now you're off to China. What a crazy summer it's been. I haven't seen you since like April when we did a bunch of shows together at the beginning of the year. How was this European experience and, you know, the World Championships from your perspective?
Yeah, I think in my eyes, the entire theme of this season is international growth. I think there's other things we can talk about, but when I came over here, what I see from the European teams is just incredible optimism. There's a lot of hoops that they have to jump through to grow the sport here, but all I see is people with bright eyes willing and wanting to do the things that UC has done to make the World Championship so great. I see this from other people. I'm hearing it from people in China right now. And I think in the future, this is what's going to grow our game to the next level. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how that's going to affect the U.S. tour. But all I'm hearing from all these different people is, you know, we're about to go super big here, super big here. We're putting all this money into this property and blah, 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 blah. And it is very satisfying. And you know what? The tournaments we got to watch in general, the competition, you guys have talked about it. I've talked about it. Almost every one of them. Fantastic. Fantastic competition. And yeah, it's been a great trip.
When you look at these two incredibly prestigious events, I mean, you've been in disc golf a long time. What do you think are the most remarkable differences that you've seen on these two European tournaments prior to some of, you know, the best events that we've seen over in the United States?
And you're talking about Estonia and the World Championships?
Correct. Yeah.
Well, it's the philosophy that they're starting to adopt. It's, you know, still being debated amongst players. I heard some players that didn't like this, but they still love the tournament. This philosophy of we're going to get this federal money, we're going to get this grant, which is incredible, but we're not going to just fund it, you know, funnel it to the purse and give it to the winner who's probably already got a big contract. Giving them an extra 10K might not do much for disc golf, but putting that 10K into some infrastructure or getting a better facility that can showcase the sport of disc golf in a more centralized location, I think that philosophy is what I've noticed. UC and Matthias, both in their own ways, had that philosophy. And yeah, that's the biggest difference. I think their thoughts are in sustainability. I think they're thinking, how can we blow people's minds that are not just in the disc golf bubble, and maybe build some partnerships, build some relationships that in the future will make it easier to continue doing this. How can we garner support? Well, we have to look professional. We have to put on a show. And, you know, this past year in Estonia, the players said the course was, quote unquote, a little bit soft, but still fun to play. But who knows? This presidential property, the presidential palace they're about to put a course on, might be phenomenal. And this is why they start here. And now that they're in Tallinn, the president is now noticing this. he's going to give them this property. So it's a niche situation in Estonia, but I keep racking my brain at how this can be done in the United States, because I don't think the federal government's going to go,
I was just going to ask you
oh,
this.
disc golf. Ooh. Yeah, because we already have so many big events in the United States. So how are we going to look like a big fish, in the giant ocean of the United States? So I've talked a lot with Doug Bierkes. His thought is just very simple. We need to continue grassroots growth. The reason why it's so big in Finland is because a large percentage of school-aged children play disc golf. And how do we make that happen in the States? It still starts very grassroots. So no easy answer to that over here.
It's just also, getting traction in a country of 5.5 million people is a lot easier than getting traction in
Way
a country
easier.
of however many people we have now, 400 million or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like there's more disc golf players and audience and market share in the United States, and yet you don't feel like it's as big because the concentration isn't as high per capita. And we were just talking about this on yesterday's show. The Finland streaming numbers and the television ratings were unbelievable. Like game-changing numbers.
Broke 1 million.
And like the growth potential just in the Nordics, and like for this to be big money sport, not just like an offshoot of what's going on in the United States. I mean, this has the potential to like snowball into massive sport in that country.
Definitely. I agree. I am curious to see who takes the reins now that it sounds like UC is done. Sounds like that was his crowning jewel, and he might take a break for a long time. Who's going to be the next UC? Because I think in a way, UC and Steve Dodge have more in common than I think people realize. They're not afraid to have these grandiose visions of what this sport can be, and they have no problem working as hard as they want to work to make those things a reality. And obviously they have two different, visions. I think they share some commonalities, but it's special to have people like that in this community. And at this point, because we still need someone to keep the engine running, we need someone to step up and become that next person. So, hopefully the ball's moving enough. Hopefully there's enough momentum to where it's not stoppable. But I don't think it's a given at this point. Like, this tournament wouldn't have happened if UC hadn't had this, again, crazy idea, crazy vision of what it could be, and sold the absolute heck out of it for years. So I want to keep that in perspective as well. I don't want to feel like this is where we are now. It takes a lot of risk to put on an event like that. And in the States, I don't know when we're going to get that.
To your point as well, Brian, I think that you look at the Estonia team, and they definitely have a model. When I look at the volunteers, the tournament director, the organization system, that feels a lot more like a business, in the sense that there are a lot of designated roles that are split up, who have been working on it for years, and they have their own silos and areas of focus. And we're so used to disc golf being driven by really passionate people who take on the world. And I think that's a complaint, not just at the Pro Tour level, but it's at the lower tournament level as well, that tournament directors are getting burnt out, that it's working for 300 bosses, all of whom are, and you're losing money, often not making money. And so I think Estonia is getting the opportunity, Matthias, and that team, to build on what UC's and the passion that UC has created around disc golf in Europe. And to your point, pivoting in this idea of sustainability. The other thing that I thought was remarkable, and it's kind of the combination of both of your points, there are sponsorships that are coming by virtue of just the size of the sport, right? But my understanding is that there are also people, like some of those sponsorships started out just simply because the saturation of disc golf in the everyday life of more people in Finland than in the United States means that it's easier to find partnerships with people who are big disc golf fans. Right? Chess.com was such an exciting sponsorship for the now Supreme Flight Open, because, you see this big company and you're like, oh my gosh. But again, that came by virtue of a CEO who's a fan of disc golf. And
it came once.
What?
And it came once.
And it came once.
Because the Chess.com
And then
once.
it went away.
They
Yes,
backed off,
yes.
and they still sponsored, but not in the same capacity.
Right,
So
right.
that's what. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but
No,
yeah,
no,
I
no.
just wanted to
It's
make
a
that
great.
note.
It's a great point. It's a great point because it requires a combination of people actually know what disc golf is, and we need CEOs who just happen to play disc golf, and you need a style of an event that UC and Matthias are putting on that creates the kind of ROI that makes it worthwhile for them to come back for year two.
Well, yeah, I heard. I forgot what it was, but I heard some number like during one of the rain delays at the World Championships. All these free spectators, that came out, went inside, went to the expo, and I think they made like 8K in merch sales, like just like that within like a 30K or a 30-minute window. I don't know the exact number how much they made, but again, like there is money to be made right there, just like that. But you got to get people to the facility, and that place is just kind of an anomaly to handle that many people. And you were there. I saw you throughout the fairways.
Yep.
It's a special combination, and I wonder how many other places are out there like that we haven't tapped into yet.
Well, and to your point, Brian, imagine an expo arena that's next to hole one at, US, think Portland Open, for example, or what'll be Worlds in 2027 in Portland.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where there's an expo on the property and you walk over and it's not just disc golf vendors, but it's like you could get Yeti or you get like outdoor equipment, and you have opportunities for people to go spend money there. That there is real potential, but it requires, like you said, those special set of circumstances, and it needs to be near population centers. That's the other thing that I think these tournaments take advantage of that disc golf doesn't sometimes.
Yeah. So I think the dream is to have WR Jackson at a facility like, like they had in Estonia. I don't know if we found that yet completely. But I think, I'm starting to adopt this idea that we should over prioritize the majors as being big shows. Then pro tour events, like, I don't care. Maybe if a certain course has less infrastructure to handle a bunch of people, but the players want to go play there, we can go do it. But it's such a balancing act. It's such a razor's edge with the disc golf business. I don't know how far the freemium model will go. I had one fan come up to me and say that, he still thinks that live disc golf is like robbing the fans of the growth of the sport. And I told him, like, do you know how many views on Jomez we would need to get per video to like sustain the disc golf pro tour?
People
the
are
machine
lost
that
on
makes
this.
go, which is sustainable and has been for 10 years, despite some pretty crazy chaos. Like what would it need to be, like tens of millions per video or something like that? We just wouldn't get there.
You wouldn't get the views. You would hit a level of popularity that you would be commanding the kind of sponsorships that would fund it first.
That's true.
Because you couldn't make the views work. And the problem is, I just don't think. And that's it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
It's just tricky. Yeah. So I don't know what the right answer is, but all I'm saying, and to be long-winded, man, I'm seeing like the building blocks start to like really position themselves at the bottom here in Europe and here in even Asia. I've talked to so many just passionate people in the Chinese disc golf community that are like ready to throw themselves in to jumping through all the hoops to get courses put in the ground. They only have like 20 that got put in the ground in 2020 or later. So it's still just wide open. So I'm super optimistic. Yeah.
This is a big event coming up here at World Games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we get to that, just one last thing on Worlds. What big picture takeaways from the competition side of things. We had kind of a lot of underperformance from the top FPO players. Owen with this amazing win, Ida with an incredible story, and then Gannon finally gets his first in MPO with a lot of the young heavy hitters starting to really show up at the top of the leaderboard. Just curious for your takes.
Well, what I noticed is a lot of exhausted players. That's what I saw. So tired, and FPO especially, because they went major in the US, back over here, event, major, and I saw a lot of exhausted players, and that's why I'm not gonna say that's exactly why Owen won, but she just seems to have the spirit of a warrior a little bit more, and Do you guys remember when she won D-Glow that one year? Was it like 2023 or 4?
Yep.
I just remember thinking to myself, like, oh man, this course is so exhausting. And she just like chipped her way around these courses and made a bunch of 50-footers, and that's how she won. Even though players were out throwing her, outplaying her from a physical side, she just stayed calm and stayed simple and won the tournament. And that's why Owen won. The whole situation on the green of 18 during the playoff was heartbreaking. I'm not going to go any farther into that. Just heartbreaking. But Ida is unbelievable. That's Owen, unbelievable. Hall of Fame, locked, done deal, bye-bye. One of the greatest FPO players of all time. And then Ida, I think, is like the absolute future. Like the way she shapes the disc, she threw a shot on 17 at the Monster, and me and Perkins both turned and looked at each other like, oh, nobody's throwing that shot up the hill. Like that is beautiful. And she's another one of those kids that's like, she's got a tech disc and she's training all off season. She's trying to up her speed, up her RPMs, dial in her angle control, and she's 15 years old. So
it's crazy.
Yeah. So unbelievable stuff. And I always wonder, like, what would have happened if she did win? Like, what would her life have been like? Would the pressure have been too much? Would she have, like, I don't know, you got to go back to school. You can't go out there on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Like, everybody just leaves and goes back to the States, and then you're just like, oh, see you guys. I'm the world champ. Like, I'm excited to see what happens in the future now that she has this under her belt. MPO, Gannon has the torch and will have the torch for a long time. The quote of him saying, if I can win this one, I'm going to win the next two. Just ice cold. Love that. And the other thing that I liked is he didn't shoot a single hot round in one. That just shows you how good he is. Just same thing with not having a single win until Kansas City and then being still number one on tour. Like, not just number one in the world,
punching the clock.
Yeah. Yep. Didn't do anything special. He was like, yeah, these rounds are pretty good. But he has such a high IQ of like competition in general. He seems to have a very good feel of what he needs to do to stay in the hunt. Like, what was the one round that AB shot 15? Didn't he shoot like 10? Or like he didn't shoot that insane of a round and got beat by multiple strokes. And then Ezra shot 14. Gannon didn't come close to 14 that round.
Gannon was 5 strokes off the lead after Ezra shot that. Yep.
Yeah. And to me, that's like the sign of a champion. Name another guy who's doing that.
It's so funny. Like, you go back earlier in the season, people are like, oh, what's wrong with Gannon? And then he wins Kansas City, and then he wins Northwest Disc Golf Championship, and then back-to-back wins Preserve, and then now wins Worlds. And it's like, okay, like maybe he's not playing quite as good as he was last year, but if he closes out with 2 or 3 more wins this season, which frankly is probably more likely than not, he's still by far the best player, and it's not close. And if the season ended today, he's clearly the best player. Like, he's clearly player of the year. If he's not winning, he's finishing on the podium.
Yeah,
he's that dude right now.
Last year, I saw his ceiling get reached. I saw him like creep up to the ceiling, like that round at Nevin with Ricky. He did some unbelievable stuff last year, but this year the floor is higher. I still think his max ceiling is still there, but his floor is just closing in on the ceiling, and we're just seeing him go to, like you said, clock in, shoot a 7-8 down. He goes, yeah, I think if I go 8-8-8, I think I can win this tournament, and he goes like 8-9, 8, and then wins the tournament. So his IQ as a competitor, and then also just a complete frisbee nerd is unmatched. And I also have to give it to Niklas. I think he wore his heart in his sleeve that week, and he had more pressure than anybody, and he showed up, and people were so proud of him. The amount of people wearing cowboy hats that had cardboard cutouts of him that were screaming his name, just wasted. They were only there to watch Nike out there playing to win. And then the last two, AB and Ezra are showing their ceiling. They're showing what they're capable of. The floor is still lower than a guy like Gannon, like way lower, but we're starting to see them reach the ceiling. So that's exciting as well.
All right, well, let's turn our attention to the World Games. It's actually already started. I was watching the opening ceremonies a couple hours ago. I saw Gannon Burr and Sko G, which is what I'm going to call that guy, his caddy. That's just his name now. And I saw them in the opening ceremony walking with the US team. So that was kind of cool. So tell us a little bit about what we need to know about this tournament, because first and foremost, I hear we have a format change already. They were planning to play 3 18-hole matches in one day, and we literally talked to Gannon about that yesterday, and he confirmed that that was the plan, but it sounds like the plan has changed. What is the new plan, and why did it change?
Well, I don't exactly know why it changed. I can speculate on it because I wasn't in on that meeting, but the practice day that I walked with Missy, Gannon, Thomas Gilbert, and Sophia Donica, it was like it was the single hottest day that I've watched people play disc golf in. And I wasn't even throwing. I threw like one shot and it slipped off my hand because it was covered in sweat. It was the hottest day. It was the hottest day ever. Thomas Gilbert was like drinking a liter of water on every single hole. Gannon was pulling ice blocks out of the cooler and like rubbing it on his neck. And they didn't even finish their practice round. They played like 11 holes and left. Because it was, I almost got heat stroke. I was drinking a liter of water in every hole, just like Thomas. They do have water on every hole, which is great. But I was starting to get dizzy, and I was starting to like freak out that I couldn't find any solace or any like AC out there. So I left. It was like, it felt like 115, 120. It was like so hot. I didn't know exactly what the temperature was, but it was humid. The air was super heavy. You stand outside for 10 minutes and your shirt is completely drenched in sweat, like done. You're dripping everywhere. So take that into consideration when you think about them playing 3 18-hole matches out there for the safety of the players, frankly.
It's insane.
It wasn't okay. My speculation
Who made that plan?
I don't know. And that's okay. They did 9-hole matches at the World Team Championships. And I think that's what like Sophia and Thomas thought they were going to do. But now they've backed it off to 12. I can only imagine it's because of the conditions. I think timing is fine. The matches are going to go super quick. Again, it's mixed doubles, all shot.
And they're doing shotgun start, right?
Yeah. Yep. There's eight cards, 16 countries, 2 players each. Right. So I'm glad that that's actually happening. The sad part is some of the holes that I kind of like on the course are on those final holes, like 13 through 18. There's some good like 400-foot par threes. There's a couple of like tricky shots. There's 16, which is the Friendship Ring, that big structure. I was curious to see how players played that. But
So are those cut?
So they're playing
tomorrow.
1 to 12.
1 to 12. Yep.
Okay.
And then when they get out of pool play, then presumably we will start to see full 18
seeded
rounds.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
It turns into a seeded bracket after that, and then it moves on. Saturday is the semis or whatever you'd call it, and then we have the final matches on Sunday. So I think the format's really exciting. To me, that it says that Missy and Gannon are not home safe. Like, Silver and Kristen are not home safe. If one person has a bad day, it's really annoying out there. There's a lot of really annoying holes, not in a bad way, but like you're not going to just easily get up and down for birdie. You're not going to easily grab a birdie here. The shots are very specific. The landing zones are very strange compared to what they normally see. But it's built in this gorgeous park right in the middle of things with the whole city skyline surrounding the park. There's a lot of beautiful terrain, like elevation change. There's a couple of really sweet downhill shots. There's a 400-foot island on hole 5, which is just super cool. They play everything as hazard out there. So there is some traditional OB. There's a water feature, but there's a ton of like river paths that are hazard, and then a lot of like on and over a path is hazard.
Yeah, so like if you land on the sidewalk, it's hazard.
That's hazard.
And you take a penalty stroke and play it from there. But we're talking about like random sidewalks in the middle of the zone, and then like if you land to the left of the sidewalk, you're safe, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep. So to pretend like it's a river, and if you land directly on the path, OB, those are not going to come into play as much as the on or over. And actually, on a hole like hole 17, it's like a 380-foot par 3, water on the left side, basket's like kind of on the edge, and there's a path like edge of circle 1 on the right. And it's like right where you want to skip your disc. So it's actually a nicely placed basket. because the players don't just get to throw a simple skip shot up to the green. The path actually might come into play. But we'll see. I'm interested to see how it plays. I think for a public park, temp course, and the trees are not very tall, they did a pretty good job.
Let me ask you this. One of the interesting things about this format, because it's alt-shot, they're making the players share an equal number of tee-offs. So the MPO player and the FPO player each have to tee off, I guess for pool play it'll be 6 times, and for the main rounds it'll be 9 times. And they can't tee off more than 2 holes in a row. So they can go, MPO, FPO, and they can come up with whatever their plan is as long as it's not 3+ from one person.
To prevent them from going MPO 6 times in a row, presumably.
Right.
To try and just win the matchup.
Yeah. I mean, it makes total sense from like a gender balance perspective for this format. My question is, how are they designing these holes? Because you can't really design holes for both MPO and FPO arm speeds. So are they like creating quote unquote FPO holes that are like shorter par 3s, or is it kind of designed for MPO and then like they're just going to have to pick and choose the best options for when to have FPO players tee off?
Well, I'm currently unsure if some pars have changed recently too. I might be looking at an old caddy book because again, things have changed very recently. But to my knowledge, there's 4 par 4s out there, but none of these par 4s are like pro tour caliber par 4s where you're going big distance drive to a landing zone, and then from behind a mini, you're throwing a very hard shot to a protected green. Hole 1, I think, might be the longest par 4 in the course, and it's 604. And
oh my gosh,
for an
short.
FPO for an FPO player, I talked to the FPO players. They're like, "There's no landing zone for me," and really, it's this small sliver next to water, and there's tons of trees everywhere. So, but Thomas Gilbert just throws power hyzer 500 feet, crashes into the trees, and then they just kind of a chip shot over the tree line. Yeah, but so there's a couple holes where the MPO is going to tee off there. It's almost a non-negotiable because of how much harder the shot is if you can't throw 500-foot hyzer. But the rest, I think, are fairly balanced. But yeah, I'm curious to see what teams actually differ. Like what holes.
Yeah.
Is everybody going to throw an MPO player on? Some of these par 4s are 440 feet or something like that. So you can to them, but there is OB around them. So you wonder if they're just going to say, let's get a birdie, let's grab a 3 here, and let's see if they run something aggressive. Almost all the par 4s can be reached in 1 if you have power.
If your name's Gannon Burr.
Yeah, well, in Thomas, Thomas was murdering shots in practice. And some of these guys, Reiners Belotis from Latvia, he has a beautiful backhand. Like, there's some really powerful guys out here that can throw a mile. But I don't know what the scoring is going to look like.
What's interesting with that too, Brian, though, is even on shorter holes, I would imagine that there's some interesting discussion because you would think, 300-foot par 3, put the MPO player and park it. But then that, to your point, that means you're sacrificing an opportunity to Gresham on one of the par 4s. But maybe a 300 to 350-foot par 3 that would be a straightforward putter shot requires a shot shape that really pushes the limits of FPO.
Yes.
It because both are like you have to decide who's playing which ones. I think that there seems like there should be some like balancing, even though the course isn't necessarily designed for both divisions.
Well, because there's 14 par 3s in the course, and really from my analysis of the track, there's some par 3s that might never get two'd.
Wow.
Just that the angle and the distance is a little tricky. So maybe 13 par 3s. But you also decide who putts. So that's another thing to keep into consideration. Not everybody's just a stud putter, So, but the lucky thing is there's not really a lot of wind out there at that park. But this is why it's hard for me to speculate who's going to take what hole, because who's the better putter on the team? And I don't know. It's not always the MPO player. It depends on who's having a tough time.
Estonia, they're going to be thinking about that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I'm wondering, like, is this so? There's some holes maybe that are just too long or weird, the par threes to get into the circle or to get to C2. And Gannon told us yesterday that on the Friendship Ring hole, they might just lay up because he said he feels like he would be happy if he was hitting the Mando at 40% of the time. If he threw it 10 times, if he didn't made it 4 times, he'd be happy. So it's like kind of like a risk reward decision. I mean, I saw your picture on Instagram from the tee box. That looks daunting. I mean, it's a cool idea, but like they maybe put it too far away to end up having it play well. I mean, I guess down the stretch in match play, if you have to make up a stroke, it might be a like you have to run it situation that could be fun.
Well, the
but
tricky
then they're
part
not even
is
going to play that hole in the first day. Oh my gosh! Like,
well, they might not play it in the 18-hole match. Who knows if the match?
Well, that's a good point.
It's
over
true.
before that too.
May never make it to that hole.
We'll never see that hole played the whole tournament.
but the worst part about that hole is I think in tournament it would play great and players would run it all the time, just like they run hole 7 at Winthrop. It's like a harder version of that hole. But in match play, you risk if you go out of bounds, especially if you're teeing off first, hole's over.
GG.
Someone's going to chip hyzer, and then they get themselves the 3. So, and the drop zone is 120 feet away. So, yeah, I just really love the concept. I want to see people hitting it, but yeah, I was watching Gannon warm up on it, and he was struggling. He was struggling on that hole, and everybody that I've watched has had a tough time hitting that gap. So I think we need more cool stuff like that, though. I think things like that, I said it in the Instagram post you saw, holes like that are cool if the structure itself is cool. If it's ugly and weird, I don't want it. But
well,
if it's a really
I have
cool
to imagine.
piece of art,
I think Charlie Meade designed this course, and he probably got there, and they're like, "This is where we're going to put the disc golf course." And that's the first thing you see, and you're like, okay, we're throwing through that. I mean, like anybody.
I would too.
Yeah,
like you could ask a 5-year-old, like, hey, what hole should we design? Oh, throw it through the giant ring over there.
I've been dreaming of that. I've wanted a hole like this. Frankly, I want a par 4 like that, where that's like where you try to get as close to as possible, and then you shoot through the ring.
It
on
would
the
be better
second
as a
shot.
par 4.
Yeah. Because then you can position yourself. Yeah, but anyway, yeah.
So what can we expect on the broadcast side from what you know? I mean, I've had some discussions with folks about this, but it's been a couple months and probably things have changed. So yeah, like who are you working with? What's the plan from a camera's perspective to your knowledge? Like what's going to be happening? Like there's a lot of cards on the course at the same time that all at the beginning basically have sort of equal value to show. It's kind of hard to cover all of that. Especially if you're not experienced disc golf producers. So, yeah, what's the plan?
So we did a tech test today. I met my co-commentator. His name is Brendan Telfer. He has been doing this for a very long time. The thing I like about him, too, not only does he have that just perfect, like, Australian play-by-play, like, bassy voice, he's a career journeyman in sports commentary. So he's done, weightlifting and tennis and all these other sports, and he knows the work that you need to put in to get into a sport, learn everything it is to know about it, and then be a play-by-play host. So I came in, and this guy had a binder like this thick. He had he knew like previous wins on every single player, how old some of these players were, and he has not played disc golf, So I think he's going to be a great co-host. He's so interested in disc golf. We walked the course, and he was kind of asking me like, "Oh, do they throw a soft hyzer here?" And I was like, "Yes, I love this." And,
come on, Brendan, let's go, baby.
I was just
he might be great.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be great.
I mean, if he's a pro play-by-play and he has done his research, he's going to be great.
He was a reporter at I think it was the World Games in 1984, or maybe it was the Olympics.
I was just Googling him. You might be able to see
in my gigs that he did was like 1984. He was a reporter, so he's been in this game long time. And yeah, he's just smooth, and I enjoyed the tech test. We have a good strategy. He pretty much was like, "Hey, I've listened to your podcast." What did he say? He's like, I don't want you to be so esoteric on this broadcast. And I was like, you know what? Thank you. I will be more educational and more general, because
Yeah.
I think he appreciated the knowledge, and I was trying to share, about the disc golf community with him, and I think he was just like, no nonsense, like, this is what I want you to do is color here. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. Even though this is my full-time
Simplify.
job, you have my entire lifetime of career. So I'm looking forward to soaking all of this up from him. It's going to be a great experience. That's why I'm here. I'm not getting paid. I got paid to fly here and stay here, but I'm not getting paid to do this job. So this is just resume builder experience. And I'm super grateful.
Who's running the cameras? The DGN?
Oh, yeah. No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
No. That did not happen. ISB is running it, and I heard that we have like 50 cameras out there. There's an insane number of staff members in general, security, volunteers. The World Games itself has been an unbelievable experience. I'm in an athlete village with like paid like breakfast, lunch, and dinner catered by chefs every day. There's big time sports here as well. So that's cool.
Yeah, what's the food
Tosi told me-
situation, Brian? What am I getting myself
Delicious.
into? Oh, great
You're
news.
getting yourself into some delicious stuff. No drip coffee though. There's only cappuccino and latte from
Oh,
the
what
machine.
a shame.
So,
I can only have lattes every day. Devastating.
but it's just good food, and there's great options, and
Cool.
you can't take anything to go, so don't get sneaky with that.
I'm
Gannon
still
tried
going to have
taking a
to
couple
go out
water
and
bottles.
eat some Szechuan food out in the town a lot, I think.
I just had bowl of noodles. That was unbelievable. Bowl of soup. Never had a soup like this before. It was like sweet. Unbelievable. I had this fresh cherry juice.
Oh, man.
That was like it was like blended like just then, and there were chunks of cherry in it that were so delicious. $3.
Oh,
$3.
let's go. Let's go.
You're in for a treat, my friend, and you're gonna feel like this is the most professional thing that you've ever been a part of. It's amazing, truly, what's happening here, and I'm just excited that disc golf got its shot. But
Yeah,
camera-wise,
first time since 2001.
Yeah, yep. When Barry and JK went, and so much has changed since then. But camera-wise, Tosi told me that these guys behind the lens are like world class. He's gotten to talk with some of these guys, and he's like already very blown away. The cameras that they have are extremely expensive, so much heavier than the cameras that our guys use. So I'm curious to see how they move, like if they are going to have moving tee and catch cams, or if there's just going to be a different person at each hole, because I think they can.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that strategy is going to be. There's towers, like big towers built like 30, 40 feet in the air, and that person's going to be roasting in the sun. That's going to be rough. But in general, the production itself is like big time. Like ISB is a huge production company.
Yeah.
So
based out of Spain.
We'll see.
This is the big time stuff, folks. This is
Yeah,
not quite
we will
the
see.
Olympics level type of broadcaster, but it's not much below that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I basically heard the same thing, that they're going to have a lot of fixed cameras. I mean, they are probably going to basically assume that this is golf and shoot it like golf.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. I mean, it should be awesome as long as the production team can keep up with the pace of needing to show so many shots and so many different cards in these early rounds. But I was impressed with the opening ceremonies coverage. It looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. It's the most professional thing that I've ever been a part of. I have to like scan where's my badge? I'm not going to show you my badge now. It's too far. But I have this like super professional looking badge. It says I'm a technician on it. Never been called a technician before. But
You should just start going over to cameras and be like, I got to work on this. Technician.
you scan to leave the building, the hotel. You scan to get back in. There's security 24/7 at the hotel. You scan to get into the course. You scan to get out of the course. You get, checked, waved down every single time you enter a place. Like they have this place completely locked down, and I understand, and I think it's cool, but I've never experienced anything like it.
Listen,
Wild.
you've never seen Charlie and his capacity to roam fairways at important championships, though.
Wow.
So It's watch out. Like you're just gonna be out there watching, commentating, and you're just gonna see like a Charlie walking down the fairway.
I'm
Would love
bummed I'm
that.
going to miss the final day. I was hoping to get there in time, but the time
What-
difference is too tough.
What time are you getting there?
I land Sunday night, like late 11 p.m. or something.
Oh, okay. Might be able to see you. Okay. Good. Great.
Monday. So competition wise,
hmm
Gannon said yesterday, and that's not exactly rocket science. Like he feels like they're the favorite. They have the highest combined rating. Do you feel like there are other teams that have a chance to beat them?
Yes, I do.
And who?
Well, I think Thomas and Sophia are going to be a really underrated team.
They got
Rankings
some
wise,
power.
they're like
So
pretty high
Sophia's been playing
seeded,
well
and-
lately too.
and they're just both good. Like Thomas Gilbert is like a Tristan Tanner character where you watch him play disc golf and you're like, why are you not top 3 in the world? Like he just murders the disc. Everything he does is so stylistic and so smooth. And I think playing a non-pro tour event or non-major, he might find himself in a really comfortable place. And Sophia is just cool, calm, and collected, powerful player. They're going to be able to like split between the par threes better than almost anybody. Maybe Nestor Tukinen and Evelina, who I still think could win this tournament as well. I did talk to Evelina. She's feeling really down about her putt. Like I've never had a conversation like this
Yeah.
with her before. Like at this point, like she laughs about it on camera, but she's deeply sad about it. And she can't just snap her fingers and make it go away. And I think it's starting to wear on her a bit. However, again, unsanctioned. Who knows what's going to happen here? When the pressure's not there, she's not in her home country. Nestori is a phenomenal player as well. Who else do I think could win? I think the Norwegians could still win too. I think Øyvind Jarnes and Anniken Sten. There's a couple really solid lefty holes that I think she would benefit greatly from teeing off on. But yeah, I don't know. I think the all-shot format's crazy. Who knows if tomorrow Missy just has a bad day or Gannon just has a bad day out there.
Right.
And you're screwed. There's no coming back from that. You just
Can't
have
hide.
to deal with your partner playing terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so team chemistry matters a lot too. Like what's going to happen when that person starts to have a bad time and they get too hot and they start to get frustrated. What are you going to do? What are you going to say to them?
You're going to
Calm
scream at them
down.
to do better.
Calm down, buddy.
That-
But,
so
I think
Kristen
that-
and Silver,
yeah.
are they're in? It's
Oh, yeah.
happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
I talked to them today. Kristen seems like she's in great spirits.
Oh, good.
I think this like yes, she left the World Championships, and you guys both saw the interview I did with her. That was heartbreaking to me as well.
Yeah.
Hard to do that one, but she seemed in great spirits. The course, from talking to everybody, not just Kristen, they always say it's interesting. The course is interesting. It's not like we see on the tour. And you have to get very crafty on certain shots. You'll see at hole number 4, it's a shot that seems easy, but it's like super, super specific. So we'll see how it plays out. But yes, Kristen's there, Silver's there. And they did finish their practice rounds. They trucked through the 18 holes. They didn't leave after one of them. This guy from Great Britain, Ben Holding, he played his round in the morning. I saw him all throughout the day. And then like 4 hours later, I drive by to go to a restaurant. He's still at the course putting in the heat. Animal. So I don't know. I think Allshot's going to make this just a great
Trying to win a world
equalizer. There's-
championship, baby.
Yeah.
Well, and Manabu and Rika are there. Like those two are like legends in Japanese disc golf, and the course is not that long. So again, I really do think that it's not anybody's game, right? Or it is anybody's game. It's not just Gannon and Missy can walk.
Feels
away
like the
with it.
putting is really going to be the thing.
Yeah.
Like, you got to show up on the green because
Huge
a
deal.
lot of the shot making is going to be people are going to be getting it within 50 feet on pretty much every hole. So, if you avoid OB and you make your putts, you could win. You could beat anybody.
Yeah. I kind of love the format. I'm excited. The rounds are going to zip by. Like each round is just, especially 12 holes, and it's only like there's 2 people on the course at once. No wind.
Yeah, and we're not throwing best shots, so it's only one person throwing.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna bop around a lot in the broadcast, and I've been doing my research, and there's a couple countries of players that I've never seen throw before, and I've tried to find like as much footage as I can. I got my pronunciations just dialed in.
Let's
I think
go.
I'm ready. Yeah, Google Translate is my best friend. Uh, yeah, let me show
What?
you the hardest one.
Okay.
Hardest one. Shout
What?
outs to Miret Jurgelevitsut from Lithuania.
Yeah, there's
That's
some
the
of the
one
Eastern
I.
European countries with players we've never heard of.
Mhm. But
There's going to be
that's
some.
kind of the.
I predict there will be a crazy shock upset at some point.
I hope. Well, I think Reiners Belotis and Elizabeth Pexana from Latvia are going to shock some people.
Okay.
Pexana she top 10 at PCS, I believe, and Reiners Belotis is a stud. Like I've watched coverage
Okay.
of him multiple times. Yeah, she got sixth place. Here's the two things about these Latvians. Reiners got eighth place at the European Disc Golf Championship, and that was back when it was like what Category 1 hurricane winds, back then. And
Yeah.
he got eighth place, she got sixth place. So they both did really well in those insane conditions. And then she top 10 at the PCS. So I think Latvia could do extremely well also. And I think that could be the biggest upset team out there.
Do you know how we will find scores? Is it going to be on the PDGA page, Standard PDGA Live? Is it going to be on the World Games page? Is there?
I've
I just
heard
haven't heard anything
too
about
much.
this.
I've heard too many different things at this point. I've heard like OPDGA Live was the app. I've heard that there's a new scoring app. I'm sorry, this sounds unprofessional, but I wish I could give you a firm answer. I cannot. I'm still trying to figure all this out myself. I've only been here for like a day and a half, 2 days, so soaking a lot of information in, that's for sure.
All right. Well, it's all happening very soon. When's the first round start? Tomorrow
My
morning.
call time is like 7:30. The broadcast starts at 8:30.
8:30, which is 8:30 p.m. today
Eastern.
time. So
Yeah.
if you listen to this pod, the disc golf starts at 8:30 p.m. today.
Whoa,
Yes.
that's wild.
Yeah.
Time zones.
Time zones.
Time.
Awesome. Well, Brian, I hope you have a great time. I hope I catch you on Sunday night or Monday, and this is going to be a wild adventure. First time disc golf's been back in the World Games for almost 25 years, and I think it's going to be here to stay. Assuming that WIFDIF does their job, and do you know anything about like? Are people excited? Are there going to be fans? I saw bleachers all lined up along one of the fairways. So it looks like they're ready for fans. 2,500 tickets sold.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean that it's not 10,000 people in Finland, but like that's way better than I would have expected.
That's
This
better
is a
than most
country
pro
with 20
tours.
disc golf courses, man. This is unbelievable. And when you get here, I hope you meet some of these guys that are like the movers and shakers here, like
Oh, I
trying
hope
to
so,
make
too.
things happen. They are so excited about all of this happening. They're so excited that we are taking interest in their country. And to me, it feels like they're like, oh, you're so excited for us. It's like you're a country of 1.5 billion people. Of course we're interested in you. Like
Disc Sports is having a moment.
House of Discs is like just like salivating. Like, come on, how do we get some discs in this market, man?
Well, you go up against Yikun and some of the other, XCOM and some of the other companies, and they do pretty well here. So, it's just like beginning. The seed is just starting to grow, and it sounds like we have the right people in place. It sounds like we are developing UC Maresmas in this country that are starting to see the bigger picture. And yeah, I want to be a part of it around every corner. I think it's so cool. And this city is just amazing. It's so clean. Everything is very convenient. Everything is very affordable. And not just because I have the dollar, not because I make my money in dollars. And even for the locals, it's very, very affordable. So it's just been cool to experience their way of life. And I've had a local guide take me around and show me different restaurants and stuff like that, and it's just been great. So, yeah, we'll see what the broadcast looks like tomorrow. I'm excited. Also very nervous and very, yeah, I anticipate it. So we'll see.
Hey, it's going to be fun one way or another. It's going to be interesting one way or another. The course is very interesting.
Yeah, and you hear that like all season. You hear that all season from players. Not everything can be W.R. Jackson, guys. It just doesn't happen.
I mean, look, they're like basically given flat parkland. There's only so much you can do, as we know.
Hey, it's
as
pretty
we've
hilly.
seen in Estonia.
Don't you say that.
Listen.
There's mound greens out there, big ones.
Okay.
Do you remember the courses we played in California for U.S. Women's back in 2019?
Yep.
Like, come on, we need to settle down. We're not that far removed from interesting courses being played at the majors. Like,
well, I do think there are quite a few like really, really solid holes. And again, I think if we get to 16 and it's a situation where someone needs a stroke, that hole is going to be exciting, especially if somebody hits it.
That's going to be really cool.
Yeah. I got to keep prepping, guys. I got to jump off. I'm gonna.
Thank you.
Yeah.
thank you. Thanks for your time.
God bless.
Good luck
bless
tomorrow.
everyone.
We'll be watching.
Yeah.
And I say tomorrow
Thanks,
for
guys.
you, today for us.
For
Just
today
everybody.
for us,
8:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. Disc golf starts at the World Games. Later,
I'm gonna
Brian.
go sleep. Good morning, guys.
We're going to take a break.
Thanks.
We'll be back.
The Upshot is presented by Pound Disc Golf, makers of the best bag in disc golf. I just received my Royale with Cheese package, the new redesigned Octothorpe. Really excited about a couple of these features. I've used and had my Octothorpe for years, but there's a couple of things that I'm really excited about for this new bag. First, the upgraded accessory storage at the top of the bag has a spot for your phone that sits right behind your Mini, as well as expanded accessory pouches for easy to access gear that's just within quick and easy reach. The other feature that I'm a really big fan of in this new bag is the new integrated hydration sleeve in the back of the bag. I typically didn't carry a hydration slot with this bag because it sat on one side and I felt like made it a little uneven. But with the hydration bladder now sitting directly against your back, I'm really excited to be using that for those hot summer rounds. The final thing I'm really excited about comes with the accessory pack, which is the new disc caddy that sits in the bottom of your bag when you're using a cart. I also have a Rovit cart. I know Levi uses one. And sometimes it's nice just to be able to carry a little bit extra gear and push it around the course. This helps keeps the bottom of your bag from sagging, makes the discs a little bit easier to get out. It's all just a clear attention to the fine details that make Pound the best bag in the sport. Head over to pounddiscgolf.com and get your Royale with Cheese today.
Welcome back to the Upshot. Thanks again to Brian for coming on. In the evening, basically in the nighttime in China, 12 hours before he's got to be on the air. So great to get his perspective on everything. And Josh, this World Games is going to be really interesting. I'm not watching any Turku Open. I can tell you that. I'm sorry. I'm out. I'll make my picks today, but that's it.
Yeah, no, not interested in Turku. Especially, I was seeing some coverage of like the wind there. I think it was
it's really
Calvin
windy
putting. Yeah,
no.
like just ripping wind. And I was like, that all the more reason I will not be tuning into that tournament.
I mean, I hope it goes well. Don't get me wrong.
Of course. I don't wish anything bad on him. I'm just not watching it. It's a filler tournament. I'm sorry. That's what
it's
it
filler
is.
tournament. It's filler tournament. But good players are there. Ricky, Calvin, Isaac, Niklas, Ezra, Lowry, Vino, Marweed, Gossage. So solid there. FPO is Silva, Henna, and friends. If you're ready
Ida's
for
there.
some Ida Letomaki like winning in her first tournament, like this is a good spot for it. I believe I saw either Silva wins or we get a first time Pro Tour winner.
Wow.
In FPO. Yep.
Wow. Here's my question. If Henna wins this tournament, does that make a difference for her putting abilities?
No.
Like can she feed the momentum?
You think like that confidence will come from the win?
Yeah, I'm asking if you think it is.
I do
have
not
my
believe
thoughts.
that.
I don't think so either.
I am not a believer in that.
No, I don't think so either. I don't know if I have. I might. I'm not sure if I shared this interview or not. I might need to get an interview with you from Hannah, but she said that she has been really like she knows the stagger putt is the way to go. She's just not 100% confident with it yet, but that's the plan for the off season, is to fully convert to the stagger putt and never go back to the straddle.
Got it.
So she's got a plan. Happy to hear that.
Anything besides what is happening now?
Yeah.
Like, too many false starts of like, I've made a change. Like, we need to go back to the, all the way down to the screws and like rebuild from the bottom up. Anyway, we'll get to our picks in a little bit. First, I want to talk a little bit more about Worlds. Just Worlds is not just about who wins. I mean, there's a lot of people who a top 10 for them is like a career achievement. And so we talked about the FPO ratings differentials. I thought it'd be good to talk about the MPO ones too, since we kind of ran out of time on last week's show. Gannon only barely playing above his rating. It just turns out that he's the best player and he plays at his rating and he wins.
What's crazy is that Aaron Gossage is the only player that even played to Gannon's rating.
Yeah.
No other player made it to Gannon's rating for the tournament.
Aaron Gossage, as we talked about yesterday, magnificent tournament, played well above his rating, and finishes in second place. A lot of the guys up at the top outperforming their rating, particularly top 8 finisher Putty Yutsen, who is about 17 rated and played well above 1040. That's so awesome. He and Lenny Kampanen really having a great weekend overall. And some of the big names underperforming, right? Calvin, Isaac, Kyle Klein, and especially Ricky, who, by rating you would expect to see finishing in second place and finishes all the way down in 32nd.
Charlie, it's interesting because your rating is obviously a performance of your general ability and consistency. But if these players shoot their rating, that's the key to the top 10 or even top 5, right? You shoot your rating. If you're a top 5 rated player, all you got to do is shoot your rating, and odds are you're going to finish somewhere in that 5 to 7 range. If you want to win, you've got to shoot above it, right? And even Gannon had to shoot slightly above his rating in order to get this win. Every other player who had any chance, Gossage, Nicholas, right? They're shooting well above their ratings in order to try and keep up with Gannon. But those top guys, the bare minimum that I think they were expecting or hoping for this weekend would be to shoot their rating.
Yeah. And, it's not like any of this data on this chart is surprising, right? Shocking names in the top 20 are not guys who are highly rated. Otherwise, we would know who they were already. But I thought it was pretty interesting. And, just to go kind of down, talk about some of the players who finished up near the top. Sullivan Tipton, I think, needs a little bit more discussion. I mean, he was in second place after round 2. He drops to 4th after round 3. Then he's back up in 3rd place after round 4. Well within striking distance this entire tournament. Ends up a little bit off the pace. He takes the bogey and the double bogey in the final round to kind of drop back a little bit, but still a top 5 finish at the World Championships. And considering the way he's been playing overall, I think we need to start not being like, oh, Sullivan Tipton is like a promising up and coming player, and acknowledge that this dude has been awesome and has now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 top 10s this season, a podium at PCS, a fifth place finish at Worlds, a 5th place finish at the Champions Cup.
He's gonna get one. He is. I would not be surprised at all if he gets a win this season. We're getting close. We're starting to run out of time, right? But next year, Sully could absolutely win one. He's got
12th in the Pro Tour standings.
Wow. Now, for a guy who wasn't going to tour this season, it's an
crazy.
Impressive performance.
Impressive.
I think it also, Charlie, just speaks a little bit to the untapped talent that exists out there that are not playing disc golf, right? Who look at the lifestyle and the requirements in order to get started as a professional disc golfer and say, nah, I'm not interested, right? Don't blame them, first off. Don't blame them even a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
It's not for everyone.
How many Sullivan Tiptons are out there? How many Gannon Burrs are out there that just said, nah, I'm going to go to college. I'm good. Like, disc golf's fun, but and choose not to tour, and they could all be as good as or better than some of these top players.
Yeah. Let's see. Who are some names that pop out for you that you want to talk about?
I think another big name for me that really is, and continues to perform well, Ezra Aderhold is an interesting, person on this chart for me, because he still is on the lower end of rating on the players included in this chart. At just north of 1030, he really is not that far up. And I think that's a reflection of he has bad tournaments still. I wonder, Adam Hammis, a little bit further up, but also not in the 1040 club. Both of those players are ones who I think have those down performances, but it's getting to the point that you have to begin to take, and Adam, we've talked a lot about, but even Ezra now, you've got to really take seriously to win. And I think that his performance at the Monster further cements the story, paired with something like this of the objective rating side, that like, is there like courses that Ezra is, maybe tight woods, but it feels like he could probably win on a lot of styles of courses, and he's going to be a real threat moving forward.
I feel like we've seen him reach a new level, and for one, his rating is going to march upwards.
Yes,
but it's more about like the mentality, the ability to perform more consistently at a high level that seems to be improving in my mind. And sure, he's still going to have those off weekends. We joked about how he was unpickable because, he'll finish second one week and then he'll finish 50th the next week.
Right.
But he's also been like the total lunatic going back and forth between Europe and the US for every single Pro Tour event.
That's true.
So it's reasonable, I would think, to expect some volatility in his results, because it's just like not a like sustainable plan for high performance sports. But yeah, great weekend for him, and obviously did a lot of work with that 14 down at the Monster, but it's not like he played poorly the rest of the weekend. He ends up, solidly in the top 5. Shout out to Andrew Marweed. He put together a really nice final round to get up into the top 10. Continues to just play his game, and he may never win one, Josh, but super talented player.
Very talented. Yes. I think you're right, though, that he might not win one. It's too bad. I'd love for him to get one.
Isaac and Ezra right next to each other on the leaderboard. Isaac 1 stroke better. Little bragging rights there. Alden Harris having a nice showing, top 20.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty nice results. Chris Dickerson, haven't said his name much lately, but top 15.
Calvin Longquist,
yes,
22nd again. Like the Calvins, man. Something about these events.
On the other side, we had some notable cut missers. James Conrad missed the cut. Joey Buckets, or I guess maybe there was. I lie. They missed the cash.
They missed cash. Okay, so they made the cut but did not get cash. I think that was like a 10% gap.
Because it looks like they played this final round.
Okay.
But missed cash. Evans.
Yes.
Joey Buckets, Evan Scott, Kevin Jones, Yuli, Germ. Just some notable names who still made the cut but did not make the cash.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that, Charlie, when the cash line is above the cut line?
I
think
don't
that's
know.
the way it should be?
It's fine. To be honest, I don't have strong feelings about it. I kind of prefer that if you've made the cut, then you've cashed. Like that to me makes sense, but
I think so too.
It's fine to let people play for it on the last day, I guess. Here's some cut missers. Greg Barsby, former world champ. Randon Lada,
Ani Armanen.
Zach Melton. So,
Mostly though, like the names were at the top, or
Yes.
at least made the cash,
Yes.
right? And welcome to 5 rounds.
Right.
Yeah. So
in FPO, obviously we've talked a ton about Own, Ida, Ella, to some extent Henna. How about Anniken Sten with a top 5 finish?
very nice performance from Anniken Sten. And she looked good too, just passing the eye test when I was watching her as well.
Katie Tate, top 10 finish.
Another good performance. She played well at Champions Cup and was on lead card or chase card, or not Champions Cup, excuse me, at European Disc Golf Festival, and was on chase card a couple of times. And so she's had a nice European stretch as well.
Let's see. I think, was this Cadence Burge's first Worlds? Did she play one last year? She finished 16th. She did play last year. She finished 21st. Let's see.
She was not in great spirits this weekend.
Wasn't happy with her play?
No, she really wasn't. She seemed pretty hard on herself, actually, after a couple of the rounds. So it's like, I get it because she really has been performing well lately, but also needs to, give herself a little bit of grace, given that, she's got this first Worlds. So
it's hard to maintain the level. I mean, look at like Emily Weatherman wins the tournament last year, looks amazing, and then kind of slumped a lot of this season. We've seen her pick it up a bit, but notable cut missers: Katrina Allen, Sai Ananda, though she's not really on tour these days.
No, I was actually pretty surprised to see her over here.
And then obviously, Kristen DNFing, the other just massive story from this weekend. I'm glad to hear from Brian that it sounds like she's, feeling better about things, at least for now.
Well, and think about what this weekend is, right? This weekend's a vacation to China with her husband. That's a little different than a Pro Tour event, right? And
for sure.
a little different than a world championship or a major in your home country, right? As long as she has the right mindset about this, I think this is a great recharging opportunity, even if she is away from home again.
Yeah. And ultimately, Josh, all those big fivers besides Kristen, they did climb their way back up into the top 10 by the end of the weekend. But
don't let them out of the doghouse. That was boring.
Henna and Evelina just like super struggles with the putter. Missy having more troubles with opening round woes that are taking her out of a major before it feels like it's even begun. And Holland just not sharp. Hasn't been sharp in Europe at all.
No, she has not been. It's. I also wonder. These past 2 courses especially have been pretty OB heavy. The Beast and then the European, the Tallinn Song Festival grounds, both have been pretty OB heavy. And I'm curious. Let's just take a look real quick. But my
15 OBs for Holland.
Hey, there it is.
Most in the top 10.
That's the number I was looking for. Yep.
But not hugely out of line with other players in the top 10 for what it's worth.
No, but it's already not like playing her best combined with most OBs. Like that's going to do it, right? Compare that with Owen, who had 8, right? That's 7 strokes. You give Holland 7 strokes back, and that lead card separated themselves, but I don't think that the Monster probably demonstrated properly with that's, you're not going to see that reflected on the OB strokes from the Monster.
We talked about this in the Reacts, but not yesterday's show. We did compare Owen and Henna in our pound for pound segment, but Evelina was even more dramatic dichotomy between tee to green and putting green.
She had a higher tee to green than Henna did?
Yes.
No way.
42.8 tee to green strokes gained. Henna was at 39.9. And Evelina, so Henna was a minus 12 strokes gained putting. Evelina was a minus 24 I'm not making this up. Minus 24. With minus 19 strokes gained coming from C1X alone.
Honestly, she didn't putt much worse than Henna. She just made it in the circle more often, so she missed more putts as a result.
And she missed putts inside the bullseye is like the most painful part.
Charlie, hole 6.
She was tied for last in circle 1 putting at 69%. That's not C1X putting. That's inside the circle putting.
Charlie, that's like 60, and I don't in any way want to like punch down here, but like we had a lot of players who are not touring athletes, right? We talked about it. There was high representation from lots of countries who are not typically represented at these events. Yep. Amazing. I hope that we have saved slots for that many countries. Like, I think every country should get a saved slot in MPO and FPO if they want to bring them, right? If that's how we want to fill the back end of the World Championship, if the second pool is going to go entirely to athletes from other countries, from a variety of countries, and that's our preference after in the lower pools, great with me. But for Evelina, the reigning world champion, to putt worse than athletes who do not play this game for their profession is, I mean, it speaks, Brian talked about it. It speaks to the trouble that she's in right now.
Yeah. The fact is that it's like it's a mental thing, and she's back to having like really, really tough times. And well, hopefully she's able to come out of it, because we've seen her come out of it before. But yeah, I mean, it was as bad as it's looked.
I should clarify, if we look here at the stats, there are some players that do not have full rounds. Some of those that were, in the lower pools, they don't have every round stats in.
Fair enough.
So I will offer that caveat. Evelina, obviously, by playing so well, had very clean stats. But boy, it was a tough weekend.
Yeah, for sure. All right. World Games, you want to make some predictions? Who are you taking to win this thing? Let's pick the finalists.
Okay, finalists. Top two teams.
Well,
sorry. Give me the Gannons. Missy and Gannonburr. Who is going to be an interesting story that goes up against them? I think I'm going to take Norway. Anniken Sten really looked good. I like that Brian talked about the lefty holes benefiting Anniken Sten. And I don't know much about Oyvind Jarns, but it sounds like he's got a pretty smooth backhand. I'll be honest. I'm going to pick a team with players that I am familiar with, and Anniken Sten is a name that I'm familiar with and think could really overperform expectations here.
That's a bold pick.
It is a bold pick.
I'm going to take the U.S. and it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because like if Kristen was in full form right now, I think I'd pretty comfortably pick Estonia, but
sure,
it's hard to do that. And Evelina, with alternate shot, you almost can't pick them.
Yeah. I mean, the chalk picks, I think, are U.S. and Canada.
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
If those concerns, but given those concerns,
I said Norway was bold, but maybe I don't actually think so. I mean, I think there's a very good case. So I think the best players in FPO in current form in order are Missy at number 1, Anniken at number 2, Kristen 3, Sophia Donachie 4.
Evelina 5. Probably
because the putter is so brutal right now. So I actually think Anniken might be the second best FPO player in the field right now. I mean,
here's the one thing. Here's
massively
the good news.
Outperformed everybody else. I mean, she even played better than Missy at Worlds.
Yeah, she did.
So,
And here's the problem. Evelina is even more of a danger because, like, you're like, oh well, like it's not about the triple bogeys. It's the fact that she misses that first putt. That's a close one, and they lose the hole, and it's done. It's
Right. There's
it's
no
especially
recovering.
punishing. Yeah, no.
Gosh, this is much more like of a balancing act than I originally thought it would be. I'll take Canada. I'll take
You'll
U.S.
take
and Canada. North American sweep in the finals, and I'm
I
taking
think
the
that's
U.S.
chalk.
to win it.
I think that's chalk. I really
I'm taking
do.
the U.S. to win it.
Okay.
But I actually think Norway's got a really good shot, Josh.
I do too. I'm excited.
You taking the U.S. to win?
Oh yeah. Yes.
I think you have to.
Sorry. Like it's like not picking the US to win the it's like not picking the US to win basketball at the Olympics. It's like, listen, France looks good. But look at that lineup and night Steph Curry's got the game. It's sorry guys. Like,
I mean, here's the good news. Well, I yet another maybe feather in the cap for Anakin. She was number 2 in putting at Worlds, 86-29.
I'm feeling good about
though,
pick.
not far off the pace at 78-23.
Who I still think is the clear favorite. I mean, they are the clear favorite team here.
Yeah, because of Gannon. Yes,
right.
I agree. But like, I think Norway is gonna. They might be the second best team right now.
I guess we'll see. I'm excited. This really is going to be fun to watch.
It should be fun.
Yeah, it should be fun.
The pools, by the way, Canada is in a pool with Australia, Norway, and Lithuania. You got to get top 2 in your pool.
Okay.
Estonia, Austria, GB, China, Finland, Germany, France, Latvia, USA, Czechia, Japan, Slovakia. So, USA should just smoothly advance. Australia is maybe going to be punchy in that pool B with Canada and Norway.
That's the hardest pool, without a doubt.
I think so. I think easily.
Yes, that is going to be the hardest pool. There's a team that probably, like, one of those 3 teams would probably advance in a different pool and are not going to advance out of this pool. That's our the pool of death. Is that what it's called in pool play often with the bad one?
Yeah, it's pool of death.
Quite that extreme, but yeah.
It's pool of death.
Yeah.
Blake Houston is the MPO player playing for Australia. He's 1,000 rated. So, it would be a big upset, but
yes.
Don't sleep is what I would say.
Don't sleep. The disc golf scene in Australia is getting bigger. And
these are 12-hole match play. Like, couple bad holes, couple dumb mistakes, and you could you find yourself in a hole that you might not be able to get out of.
It's true.
Because in theory, a lot of these holes are pretty straightforward, and it's just about, like, can you make the putt?
If you find yourself down 3 through 4, you might be done. Like, that might just be wraps. Miss a couple putts and it's over. It's going to be exciting. I'm very excited to watch this. This is going to be fun.
All right. Let's also make our Turku picks, Josh. I know we're not really going to be locked in on this one this weekend, but I'll catch the highlights, catch the post-pro.
I'm going to give rapid fire here, Charlie.
All right.
I'll give you my MPO. Nicholas Antila, Ezra Aderhold, Vaino Makala. I think Vaino has a bounce back week after having a really nice start to Worlds and then falling off the pace. And 2 other good performers from Worlds to keep going.
Which of these guys are 5Xers still? Is Villman still a 5Xer? Probably not.
No, I doubt Villman is. Is Lowry playing? Lowry is. I bet he's a 5Xer. Oh,
is he still a 5Xer?
Yeah, he is.
We got to check the chart. Is he really?
Yeah, there's no way he isn't. There's no way he's high enough in standings. He hasn't played enough.
You're right. Vino's the last in at the 2X level.
All right.
Okay, well, give me Lowry.
Oh, shoot. I'm committed. Vino's going to do it. I'm sticking with it.
Give me Lowry. Give me Gossage, who I think is a sneaky shot to win if he plays like he did this past week. And give me Villman.
Love it.
FPO. Give me the Idas.
Okay.
And let me check we're back to 5X landscape right now. Oh yeah. Gotta be, right? Do I want to take Silva with her as like the pretty clear favorite to win? I do. I'll take Silva and the Idas.
Okay. I am not going to take the favorite to win. I'm going to go for points here. I want Ida Letomaki, and then I want Katie Tate and Katie Al-Salou.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, like good multipliers who have been playing well. Yeah, going for points over here. It hasn't worked yet, but I'm trying.
All right, so there's our picks in the books. World Games coverage starts tonight. Brian said 8:30. I was checking on the website in the break, and it said 8:50 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
So I don't know, something around there, sometime between 8:30 and 9. So head over to World Games Live, make yourself an account, and let's get ready to watch some disc golf together. We'll see you in the Discord, everybody. Sign up for an UltiWorld subscription at discgolf.ultiworld.com/subscribe and get access to our Discord and all of our live subscriber bonus segments on Inside the Circle. We'll probably do a little reacts this weekend to World Games / Turku once I get to China. So,
yeah, for sure.
Josh, talk to you sometime Sunday.
Sounds good. Travel safe, Charlie.
Later, everybody. Talk to you next week.